All right, we're live. Welcome to the LCC Lorcana Cross Continental Challenge,
Hey, yo,
the
let's go.
finals. I am Luke Wonderland, although it says Breezy, I'll get that changed right now. And I am here with JDZ Quests.
Yo, what is up, Wonderland? I'm so happy and glad to be back here. I was so excited when my number got called to hop into the booth with you again for the
Oh, yeah.
final round of the LCCCCCCC. Echoes, echoes,
Echo,
echoes.
echo.
Hey, I got to tell you right now, man, this has been an incredible experience, and I'm so glad that we are here at the finals. I could not have asked for a better series of games for all the players. Thank you guys so much for participating and giving your special time during this special time of year to participate in the LCC. We have some incredible matches throughout this entire tournament, and it all comes down to this. This is the finals. The finals, finals.
Oh, yeah. I'm just changing the background screen here so we don't miss any action, just because I know how I like to ramble. So it's very possible I would forget to flip it over. But oh yeah, it's been intense. A lot of great games. EU definitely won the Swiss portion,
For
but
sure.
NA is taking down the singles portion here. It seems as no matter who wins this, NA at least won something in the event.
And I think the real winners is going to be the fans and the viewers at home.
Oh yeah.
And but for this matchup, man, I think it's an incredible one. I'm so fortunate that we had the foresight to come out and allow these players to come out and change these deck lists. Zan still sticking with the green steel. However, Zach Bivens elect to switch it up and playing the purple steel strategy. Just looking at these decks, listen to Zan in the interview. He said that he's about a 48% to a 52%. What would you call it in terms of just deck versus deck, player skill, independent?
Just asked me a question. I got distracted.
That's what's up. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. No problem. No problem. Who do you think is going to be favorite? Just the decks themselves, deck
um,
versus deck.
I mean, I kind of think it depends on a few different things. If Zan gets an Ursula 3 to go off and stay around,
Hmm.
then it looks very good there, I feel like. But otherwise, like, Genie's pretty good. I kind of feel in this current meta that purple amethyst steel is a little bit favored against the emerald steel, kind of.
Hmm.
There's just too many good cantrips. So if they're able to play a removal game back while also like putting down Genie, which is like very difficult to deal with, you almost need a strength or a double sing storm to take it down. But if
And
they're
that
taking all your characters down, you can't strength.
I think that's going to be an interesting approach. You are a green steel player yourself, and you see Zan's playing these mines. Do you think those mines are going to come up at all? I don't think they're going to be great. Anytime you see a fox, you see a crab, you're going to probably get away from those mines. But if he can establish those mines and kind of go back and forth with those dwarves, you can kind of pop a lot of the low health characters that Zach has in the deck. So I don't know if it's going to happen, but it could happen. And let's see if Zan can figure out a way to weave that in. But also, Zach understands this matchup very well. What does he need to do to win? Is he just going to have to lean on these, just try to rush him down, or what do you think Zach's plan to victory is going to be?
Value control. He's gonna apply pressure while taking away anything that would stop him from doing that, while also drawing cards. He has Elsa to take care of those pesky cards. Like being able to go Genie into Elsa takes care of a lot of
Mm,
things. Um,
absolutely.
the the mines are interesting. I think they will be good if they're able to come down at the right time.
Hmm.
If they're able to come down on those important turns, then they're really good. If they come down on turns that they're not very great on, it's just very easily answered by a crab and a fox. Like two cards that easily answer it. So it kind of has to come down, do something, and then you hope that the fact that they have to answer that means that they're not answering other cards you have in play. So it gives you the chance to wait a turn. It's like when you don't shift your Diablo on 2 even though you can, because you're
Hmm.
going to wait a turn, shift it on 3 and play a Pete, so they can't brawl it. And then if they play the brawl on just your 1 drop Diablo, then okay, that's a 3 drop for a 1 1 that doesn't matter. You can then deploy the Diablo and maybe they don't have the second brawl and it goes off, right? So it's just kind of those things that you kind of have to play into certain play patterns and like get their value while you can. If you sequence your characters wrong, it's very likely you'll get punished. And these two players are insane. So like the average person makes one mistake and they're just going to take full advantage of it. So we're going to see some crisp plays, and I'm assuming if one of them does make a mistake or takes a 50-50 chance and chooses wrong, they'll probably get punished pretty severely for it.
And that's what this game comes at this level. I'm sure that's what this game comes down to. Just the smallest misstep, the smallest missequence. As we see the mulligan phase or the altar phase is underway. We got some shuffling taking place, and Zan did elect to hang on to that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So that might be something that he's leaning into for this matchup. He also has the Diablo in hand. I can't see the rest of the hand, but Zach has a nice little curve set up. He's got the broom. He also has the Chernobog followers. He's got the White Rose. He's got the Smee. He's got the Elsa. He's kind of lined up how this game can go. So this could be an interesting matchup. So if you're not here for this, make sure you put your seatbelt on, okay? Put your tray table away and lock in because we're about to take off and take this thing to the next level. We got Zach. We have Zan. CNC, ZZ Top. Hey, yo. ZZ ready to play. And let's get active. Who's going to go first? I didn't see who won the dice roll, and I don't trust that green box anymore on the
Yeah.
around the frame. It doesn't help. It hurts. Okay.
They should like roll dice, and then whoever wins the dice roll have it passed to that person, so the box does tell. But alas, these are minor things that don't really matter.
All right. So it looks like we're going to go ahead. Zach does take the play first. He'll come out, ink one, put out the Chernobog followers. We'll lead there. He is going to probably send this thing on a quest and pop it for some value later on. But we'll see what Zan likes to do. He does have the Diablo shift in hand.
Yeah, Zan has a good hand. Definitely a good hand.
That's not a bad one.
He has the shift and see, like, yeah, it's early. He doesn't have anything really to do with the mine. He doesn't have like a great turn for it, so it's an easy ink. Although I might have kept it over the Diablo one, so that's an interesting thing for me to think about. Whether or not my assumption is that he's afraid of a possible cannons type card, taking this one out, so the next turn maybe he could still play the Diablo one and then still shift it and sing a song the next turn. It's still pretty good value. So it's a fairly heads up play there.
Yeah, I know the lists are open. I don't know if Zach is playing cannon. He might. I think he has maybe. I don't think he has any cannons. I think he just has the songs. He has
just the songs.
The Strength of a
We're gonna
Raging
get their
Fire.
lists up about now.
Let's see. I believe. Yeah, he just has the Strength of Raging Fire, and he has the one copy of the Along Came Zeus and a bunch of characters. As we'll just go ahead and get some value from our Chernobog followers. Send the broom to the Inkwell and bring down the Smee, and is ready to go for a little bit more lore. As let's see if Zan's going to go into the shift Diablo play. Now that he has a nice recall of what's in the hand of Zach. Maybe he'll go into the shift Diablo here. He might have to pitch this Heffalumps and Woozles. I think that's a cool card. Very cute artwork. I like me some Woozles. I like saying Heffalumps and Woozles, so it's got to be good.
I know, right? Like when I saw the card spoiled, I was like, it better do something so good. I want to play with this as much as I possibly can. Like, please
who cannot
be
say
broken.
Woozles? There you go. It's good enough. I think the card is quite playable. Zan already has it in the deck, especially if you set it up with the Ursula 3, singing that thing, just drawing 2 cards and stopping to quest from your opponent. It might come up in this game actually because Zach's deck does just want to get sideways and kind of quest out early, but we'll see what we're going to do here. We're thinking long and hard about it. That shift Diablo is looking irresistible, but you did see that your opponent is holding on to that Elsa coming in the next few turns as well. So that might be what the line of thought is here as we are gearing up this Diablo, probably going on to the Inkwell now, taking your play from early. Never mind, he's coming down. Forget I said anything. Bring down the Diablo. Maybe you think he's trying to get some additions for this Strength of Raging Fire, make it strong enough to take down the Smee.
Yeah, he has the Happy as well in his hand. So It does look like he could, if he wanted to, ink the Muses, play Happy, shift, discarding Heffalumps, sing Strength, take out the Smee. Which is kind of interesting. It's using a lot of resources, and you kind of get punished if Zach has any sort of removal to follow it up. Like, then again, Zach's only removal is Strength and then 1 Zeus. So that's less removal than I initially thought. I had like
Mhm.
thought of a different list there, but with Bell and Strength and Zeus is the only real removal and damage moving,
Mhm.
it could be even more favored for Zan, especially right now. He's at least a turn safe. Like I don't think there's a single way he can interact with this, and he doesn't even need to take out the Smee if he doesn't need to. But I think at this point it's fine because he could draw a dock, and like you want a lower hand at that, and like he's drawing extra
Right.
cards with the. Oh, interesting.
Okay, so we won't. He'll just bring out the Storm Rage on just to get a couple more options, I guess. Get another draw in there and damage that Smee enough. This will prevent that Smee from going on a quest, even or even challenging any of your characters. If he's got nobody to challenge because the Diablo is evasive, but at least if he go and he does get into the Bell, look at that, just a little too soon. That Bell would be quite nice if you had enough ink to put it down, but just don't have it. So it's gonna be interesting. Let's see if he elects to just hold on to this Smee and just let him stay there injured, or are you gonna send him on a quest and just sacrifice his broken body along the shores of his own effect, stumble and hurt himself. What a great
So
design.
I feel like Zach is probably inking the followers and playing roses, and he moves them both over. So maybe that's like
Hmm.
the default level one play, right? Oh, I wish my camera would stop freezing. And so like that's the default level play. And now he's thinking, is there lines that are just better than this? Like, can we just beat it with something else? And now he's like, maybe I want to devote a crab. Maybe I ink a
Mm.
crab. Maybe I ink a crab because next turn I want to play another three and the one drop, right? Um, but he decides that even then that's not worth it, right? The 3/3 bodies are probably just more important for him.
Mm. And get it down. But what about this Smee though? Do you just leave him upright and try to set up your bell in a few turns, or do you?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I think that, and that is a clean out to the Diablo as well, because I believe, but you do know that Zan does have some hidden codes. He didn't quite get to it, but that could be another way that he can protect his Diablo, who did get some value there as you get into the Lucifer. What do you think about this card? I think this card is great. I think this card is great coming into this heavy character based meta that we kind of find ourselves. Muses Lucifer, that's a vibe. What do you think of Lucifer?
Yeah. The more people are trying to not get hit by Ursula 2, the
Mm-hmm.
better Lucifer becomes. Granted, they could just play regular actions to make Lucifer hit that instead and still play around. Like, that's why Smash and Cannons will still get around that. And honestly, it makes Cannons a little better the more that Lucifer's played because not only does it answer a 2 lore threat, but you can discard it when it's bad to the
Right.
Lucifer when you don't need it.
Just hold him in
But
hand.
at this point, Zan is just taking advantage of the fact that he has a bunch of character, or that he's drawing 2 cards a turn. So he's just like deploying everything. He could easily quest with his other Diablo and his Happy if he wants, being like, I'll happily trade this with your
Mm-hmm.
Smee. He could also just leave them back because he has a strength in hand, right? So
And he
at
just
this point, I think he should just play the Pete and pass. Um, Mostly because Zeus is once again the only thing that could be an out. Maybe a 1 drop and a strength, and to play around both of that is the Pete. Because then you have to worry about Elsa's and you have to worry about Belle's once we get to turn 5. And I think he knows about the Elsa, so he needs to get as much value from this Diablo as he can. And
absolutely.
like keeping the strength could be relevant because like that said,
And now
this
he's
Diablo's
kind of ink starved a little bit though, as he's debating on which card he wants to put into the inkwell because he's only sitting, I believe he's only sitting at 2 ink. I think that is correct. He's only sitting at 2 ink. So he's going to have to put one of these guys in. Which one do you keep? Do you prefer that body of Pete, or and he will go ahead and put the Pete down into the inkwell,
see
taking your play, hold on to the strength for a follow on turn, and now he will get another card here from this Diablo, but it's not. This is not out of the woods. You get to a second Elsa. Look at that. So if you can get to 5 ink, if you're Zach, you can start turning this ship around quickly. If you can get
um
there, these 2 Elsas are looking quite good. And this
yeah,
Bell's also
these
looking good.
yeah, all of the 5 drops are terrifying for Zan. I feel like he shouldn't have played the other 2 1 drops if he wasn't going to strength when he did necessarily to kind of like. So he just played strength on his last turn, right? But
Hmm.
he could have instead played Pete inked the happy and then still strength for 3. And instead of a happy being in play, he'd have a Pete, which
Mm.
trades with most of the 3/3 non-evasive characters and is like a little better, I think, than the happy. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the happy is going to be insane when he top decks mine to
Yeah,
deal
I was
2.
just gonna say when he flips this mine off the top of this deck, slams it down, and jams happy in there, you're gonna be like, I have to eat these words. They're quite
Yep.
delicious, and I'm
I
consuming
mean,
them.
there's so many things that could happen and so many lines that could occur that it's like, well, which out are you playing to? It's like, oh, he
Mm.
obviously did this for the strength. Well, it's like, well, maybe he did it for the strength and the fact that it ups his mine outs. Granted, we also know he only has 2 mines left in his deck, and that is way too many Diablo 1s for someone to want to draw in a game.
For sure, for sure. But now he does get the crab up, so now he has that pivotal 4 ink next turn. He can really start getting dynamic with some plays. As we're going to go ahead and use that Storm Rage on,
Nice.
just get rid of that. Just get rid of that Smee. I believe he knows about this bell based on some of his Diablo triggers from earlier. So I think that's a cool heads up play. Getting off the field now to not worry about this bell play that could be inbound. But now do you have a way to stop this Elsa from taking out your Diablo?
I
Because you
think
got some good
he.
cards.
Interesting. I'm a little
As Bill.
surprised he inked that right away. Like, I'm definitely playing Ursula. He
Mm-hmm.
has 4 ink. He could technically keep it. Um, he could also have played it, seen what his opponent's hand was, and hope to draw an ink. I don't like that play, but
But
he
I think.
might
Sorry, go ahead.
need it. It's like an interesting thing is like he might need the bodies first. Like if that
He's gambling.
Bruno was another small body, and then if Elsa comes down, takes down Diablo, Crab takes down the other Diablo, all of a sudden like the strength isn't as good. He has to commit another character. I mean, I guess
Mm.
he still gets exactly enough with the Lucifer, so it probably has 0 impact.
Okay, so now he is down to those 2 characters, and your hand is looking a little bit feeble. But this Lucifer can just do some cash money numbers next turn, as you'll be able to take the bell, take the Elsa, and you're gonna be right back in control as you get into another
Oh,
Diablo. So right into the saddle, man. You can put all this stuff onto the field now and just be in a pretty decent position. But you would have to figure out a way to get this Elsa
this
off the field
is
now.
this is pretty good.
Oh, you got the strength.
Um,
You can play the strength and
he
get rid of the Elsa.
inks the Bruno. Actually, he doesn't even have to ink the Bruno. He just plays Lucifer, hits his whole hand, shifts the
Is
Diablo,
Lucifer 5 or 4?
discarding the Bruno. It costs 5. He has 5 ink, right? Did he
I
only
think he
have
has
4?
4. I think he might
He
have 4.
inked.
He
Okay,
might
he
he,
only has.
it might not be updated. I'm looking at his chart, but he might be
Okay,
at 5. But because I
well that would
know
make a lot more sense.
Zach was on the play first. He's been on the draw, so he's been 1 ink behind this
And he
entire time.
just
So yeah,
went to 5. Okay,
he would have to go to 5 now by
that
inking
does
this Bruno.
change things a little.
So he would have to ink the Bruno. No, he can't even ink the Bruno. Yeah, that's
I
miserable.
think no, I think he still inks Bruno, plays
Inks the
Lucifer,
Bruno,
and
plays Lucifer.
pass.
Yeah.
Maybe sends the happy into the crab, but that's unlikely because he can't even do that because he needs 3 characters. So next turn he can shift play strength to take out Elsa,
Mm.
or he can sing strength on Elsa and just hard cast the Diablo if he can't afford to shift off top decking a song. But I think no matter what, I think he has to play this Lucifer. On how he goes about playing it, all right, so he's going to go this route,
As we
which
will ink this, which is not bad either, because you will be able to get rid of some threat next turn with that Bruno. It just turns to basically a straight up Dragonfire. You'll be able to single with the Lucifer, and then you can go into the Crab, and now you're kind of chilling. Um,
slow and steady. He's just
yeah,
taking
just
it slow and steady.
yeah, I don't hate it. Or maybe you could have. Nah, he's not trying. He's not even worried about the shifty elbow. I think at this point you're not even done. You're done with that. You're just trying to play this bad boy and exert him naturally. As we
It's
get
like the
into the rabbit,
card
which is
that
huge.
punishes him. It can punish Zan the most. Oh my! And see, like, because the Bruno, like, no matter what Bruno hits, it's good for Zach here, or Zan here, obviously.
Hmm.
But since he's not inking, then it means that he can't just automatically use the Bruno as removal. There's a chance that the Elsa stays in his hand, and if that happens, then this Diablo Zan has is worthless.
Oh, but look at it
Now
though.
this
He gets into the mine, the
this
mine.
is a
But
different story.
he can't.
This is all of a sudden Happy's trading with Elsa.
We talked about this too, and there it is. We talked about this briefly, and he gets into the mine. But will you deploy it now though? That'll take your whole turn basically to set this up if you felt so inclined. You have to put the mine down. You can move Happy to it, and then you can challenge. That's wild. We're not doing that, right?
He could he could just play Diablo and
Mm.
pass.
And just
Um
keep the
and
slow
then
train
yeah.
rolling.
And then next turn play mine, take out Elsa. If he assumes that Zach doesn't have another evasive character in hand.
Okay, okay. All right. As we'll go ahead and hit the Bruno, we are going to sing the Bruno now. Just get it done. Probably putting it onto the Elsa, I would assume, or Rabbit. I don't know at this point. We're going Rabbit here. Interesting. So you'll be able to give up a card after the effect goes off. Guess you set the chain or the bag as it may be, and then you will get to draw with Rabbit's effect. You will get a draw with Rabbit's effect after the Bruno resolves. Hopefully, I remember though. Sometimes people be forgetting out here, forgetting their plays. As we're going to think here, we got a dice roll coming in. It's going to be none other than a 2. So we'll take and it hits the genie. So the rabbit is still in hand. And then Rabbit's effect will resolve. You get a draw here. Let's see what that's going to be. I'm excited. What is it? Is it some ink? And it's another uninkable. Or it's the Maleficent. Still, I think that's a pretty cool card. And we will go ahead and move to the mine. It looks like set up the mine, move to mine, send 2 on over to Elsa, and then trade down with the Elsa. And then we'll pass here. It looks like as the board is going to be the Seven Dwarfs mine and the Lucifer.
Yeah.
So I like that play a lot. I think that was a cool play.
Zach needs to draw Fox right now.
Oh, it's Crab. It's his cousin, and
That's fine.
not the one he needs.
You know what? That's perfectly reasonable. I thought he had 7 ink, so I was like,
Hmm.
he needs to answer it now with a Fox. But the crab is a reasonable answer. I
He
guess.
did
Oh,
miss.
he
He
still
did
needs to
miss
draw a
ink that one
bounce.
time.
He still needs to draw a bounce though, because that's only 5. Like he needs to do 6. So maybe now he'll draw Fox, right? And then he can ink the Pete. He'll play crab, play Fox, bounce it back, do all the stuff. I mean, he
Yeah,
gets
so just
to.
we'll use our last remaining ink. Put
Oh,
out Maleficent.
interesting.
Maleficent in the face of the mind, though. That is interesting because now maybe you're trying to bait your adversary to paying some ink to move that over to kind of slow them down a little bit. But that
Yeah,
Lucifer can jump into the mine and take that Maleficent out with the greatest of ease. Maybe that's part of the plan. I'm
so
not
I'm
sure.
assuming he's doing it to make Zan want to move Lucifer.
Hmm.
But the question is why does he want Zan to move Lucifer?
As
Um,
we'll sing the sudden chill to just rip that Pete right out of hand, and we will take the bait, whatever the bait was, and we'll go ahead and move Lucifer to send 1 over to the Maleficent. You will lose some some ink tempo there, but still you had all the ink required to play all the cards you needed. As you'll just go ahead and get the Diablo down on the field. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to.
so my thought is that maybe he did it to get one character off of the mine, like 1
Mhm.
damage away, so then his rabbit could eat the Lucifer. Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh wow. Get got Diablo. All that work to make that Diablo live, and this is where he is.
And you get strength of a raging fire, dude. Strength of a raging fire. What it takes to be a man,
Fire.
dude. You gotta be mysterious. Okay, you gotta have strength of a raging fire. Hopefully they print all those
And
cards. By the way,
so this
I'd
kind
be.
of did. Sorry.
No, I was just talking about those cards. I was just rambling about strength of raging fire. Hopefully they print all of those cards in later sets.
Mm.
Mysterious as a dark side of the moon.
Oh,
Force
okay, yeah.
with
One
the
for
force
each
of a great
line.
typhoon. Yeah, every line
I like
should get a.
it.
And they all should do something cool too, and
All
they
right,
all
so
they all steal. As we get
wow,
another one.
strength, strength, strength. That's three strengths drawn
Look
in a
at
row by
that.
both players totaled. So one, we were saying like, why did he play the 1/1 into the face of the
Hmm.
mine? And this is the reason why, is so that now his rabbit didn't get Lucifer tagged and then knocked out.
Ah, okay,
Is
okay.
'cause it's to kind of survive the rabbit. That's the, I mean, that's in my mind, that's like the level 1, level 2 play. And if there's a level 3 play, it's above my head and my pay grade, and I didn't understand it.
What if he just comes in? If he asks the question in the interview, he's just like, "Oh, dude, I just totally forgot. I just spaced it. My bad. My bad.
I
I
mean,
fumbled the bag there."
that also happens, right?
For sure. But I mean, it's tough, man. It's probably late. You probably got Christmas shopping on your mind. You probably got all kind of eggnog flowing. You got Christmas carols blasting in your ear. You're trying to get your quest on. Hate to see it. It goes like that sometimes, but nah, he probably took your play and just tried to coerce the Lucifer move, and then it just happened to work out that way. But still, we're chilling here. This spot from Zan is looking like it's kind of degraded a little bit. It's falling apart. You're kind of saddling up this mine. You are gaining a little bit of residual ROI lore from the mine. It's probably not going to be around for very long if you keep it there undefended and you have no characters on the board to defend your position. As it looks like Zan is kind of going through it right now of what to do next. Is it ever quest? Is it ever challenge? Or is it not your turn? Is it Zach's turn? Again, these green boxes are very deceiving. I can't really tell. As we're thinking about it here, long and hard. I believe it's Zach's turn. Zach's got the strength. Zan's got strength.
Yep, he's
Both
he's
players.
tanking right now.
He's probably thinking about using this strength here or sending it to the inkwell. No, we're going to hard cast it just to get rid of that Lucifer, and then we can probably start putting some challenges into the Seven Dwarfs mine, as we will send five. So it's got one turn left, one lore left, and now Zan is in a very very precarious position, as we are going to be needing something good. He gets a great card. Oh my goodness, is that
Nope,
Doc?
nope, nope,
That's not the
nope,
guy.
nope.
That's not
So
the guy.
close, but so far. So
Oh, dude,
close, but so far.
why
It's
did
a
they
happy.
make
They look
those
so
artwork?
close.
Why do they do that? Is that Doc or is that
They're
Happy?
so similar.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I thought it was him. I thought it was um they could have made those guys look a little bit more different, I think. Um I think I think that is so close but yet so far away. As we'll go ahead and splash the two, as we bring out the Happy, send two on over to the Crab, and then pass here. You will be losing your mind after this turn, and a lot of energy with it. You get into the Fox too, just for an added bonus. Oh man, oh man. So it looks like it's going all aces for Zach now, as he's got the tempo, he's got the momentum,
Yep.
as he's banging the drum. Rabbit comes down, finishes off the mine. A little bit of bounce activity. No, he's questing. I'm sorry, quest, and then the Fox can finish off the mine, get some draw, and then vibrate
Actually,
spectacularly there.
he's keeping the fox back.
Oh, just keeping it from going sideways at all, and just kind of keeping it upright. My bad. Okay,
I
give the
don't.
power up to the crab. You know the vibes. Same thing.
I
It
don't
all
like
works. I think
that.
this board is great though. This is a good spot as you get
Like,
into a late sudden chill. You didn't like that. You didn't like that
I
sequence.
don't
How would you have done
understand
it?
it. I mean, so I would have just quested for one more. I would have quested with the crab and challenged with the fox.
Mm-hmm. Just get a
It,
little bit of
like
additional.
these games are close, and like the one lore could matter. Like because Zan is literally a dock away from being right back in this game. Zach doesn't have big quests in play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's definitely questing with both characters and just dropping. Like he's advantaged, right? Like
Right.
if we have that nice little thing on the bottom of the screen that has like a little clock going one way or the other, it's like, well, this is definitely favoring Zach right now. But like, there's some. That's not it right now. That's.
As he gets into the hypnotize, just burning hypnotize just to draw some cards. We are
Into
we
a
are
card we can't play.
we are Desperation Station. Do you ink it? No, you don't ink it. You just hang on to it for next turn, as it looks like Zach is all about hitting the gas pedal. We're going to continue the quest here with Broom. We'll pop the Diablo and pop the Broom, get another card, and you get into another Calgoon. So this thing is absolutely spiraling out of control right now. It looks like Zan needs to get something moving as you keep drawing these top deck discard cards a little too late, and Diablo looks a little too
That would
slow
have been
in this
fantastic
spot
last
too.
turn.
Something I could have used 20 minutes
Like,
ago.
because now Bivens is representing a 3-turn clock. Um,
And it's
all
and it's
right.
tough. It is tough. And we get into another Strength of Raging Fire. So this has been the tail of the tape. As we'll just rip it here, get another strength, blow up that Diablo again. So Diablo has not been performing in this top cut at all. I mean, Zan, I think maybe he's drawn probably 3 cards off of Diablo this whole in the final four here. I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't think Diablo's days are numbered or if his best days are behind him, but the bird has not been looking good for set
Well,
number 6 as
the format's definitely adapted. So like everyone was like, okay, the bird's the word in
mm-hmm.
the last set, right? So people learned that and are respecting it. So whenever anyone made a deck for set 6, the
Yeah.
bird was the first thing on their mind. And then it just happened to be that what came on top was these genie based decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that seems very good. Like Ruby Amethyst now has 12 answers to Diablo. You know, 4 brawls, 4 genies, 4 Elsas. And then sometimes Medusas and B preps, you know, those also exist. Um, so it's kind of like Diablo was never, oh, that's it.
and that's gonna be and that's gonna be
Zach
game number
picking up game
one.
one.
That's gonna be game number one, and I think Zach had a good plan. I think Zan played it well. It just kind of ran out of gas there towards the middle, late, and the end of that game, and it looks like Zach just kind of stormed away with it. Those Strength of Raging Fires were tough. I didn't expect them to be. I know they were going to be good, but damn, they were really, really good. All 4 of them came out, and they showed up and showed out spectacularly. But we're going to a game number two. We're going to have Zan on the play, and let's see if he can make something different happen for this outcome. What do you think he needs to do different in his approach? We're talking early game.
Draw less bad 1 drops. He
Okay.
plays 7 1 drops, and he had 3 1 drops on turn 2. And then he
Mm.
drew a fourth 1 drop like 2 turns later. And then later he drew the happy that you thought was there. And chat's probably like, I have new emotes or emojis, and one of them is happy. And he's saying, like, how about no? But I emoted it anyways, or emojied it anyways, because it was like, oh, yep, that's the wrong one. It should have
Oh,
been the doc, and I'll put the doc now too. They're gonna be like, wait, what's going on? Did they draw a doc? Who's drawing the doc? And no one drew the doc. Sorry, chat.
dang. Oh, okay, we're hitting from the future. Again, shout out to all of you at home watching. I hope you had as much fun with the LCCC as I did. It's been an incredible spectacle. Again, huge shout out to everyone involved making this thing go off, yourself for hosting this beautiful stream, and and the players, and the players for coming out and sacrificing their time. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
thank these guys enough because there is no, they didn't have to do this. Okay, they could have been like, nah, I'm good. I got the world championship to prepare for. I have the national tournament to prepare for. I got other things I'm doing. I don't need this. Like, why? But it seems like everyone, we're so fortunate with the champions, to include yourself, that we have, that are also really good stewards for the community and good representatives, because that is a responsibility, whether you like it or not. I mean, when you're a title player, when you're a champion level player, you become more than just a player. You have community obligations that you kind of have to, people look up to you. So I really appreciate everyone coming out and sacrificing their time to participate in this showcase. It's been great for the meta and great for the community for sure.
Oh, Zan doing ye old fashioned mulligan. Everything that's not a Diablo. Hope to hit the Diablo one. We hit an Ursula 3, which is the only card I would have
Oh, you got two.
considered keeping. And we don't have a song, unless that's a hypnotize. But I think that's a happy. I think that's happy Diablo Diablo. Mine Ursula 3 Lucifer. Really need to top deck a song, like a song we don't want to see, like a song we don't like.
I don't know, but
Um,
those strength of raging fires are already kind of spooling up too, ready to take him down. So he's got 2 of them in hand again, deciding to hang on to both of them. Uh, I don't know. It could be a little bit more of the same. You are going to be on the draw this time, so maybe it might be a little too slow. You might get a little bit of Diablo triggers in there before he pops it off on you, but you'll be able to peep the hand with the little one and then make your decisions informed on what you see. Seeing those two strings is not going to be cool. So it's going to be a good one. I think we got a good one lined up. I think we got a good one. Maybe it's time to ban the bird, man. Maybe it's time to get Diablo out of the game. Just kidding. They figured out a way to keep the bird in check, put him back into the cage just by printing a little bit
Poor
more
birdie.
busted cards. Poor bird.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
the rest of the format just kind of caught up to where he was. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was never busted to the point where it's like the game's broken. He was
Mm-hmm.
just very powerful and was just a little bit ahead of his time. Um, I still think Flaversham is probably in a similar boat,
Yeah.
um, but it's still also shining quite a bit.
Yeah. Flav is a problem. Flav is a very problematic card, and I like my blue cards. Flaversham, if they said, "Hey, he's done," wrap him up.
I
If they
mean,
buck, if they Bucky Flav, I would understand. I'd get it. If they hit him
I
with
would
that,
laugh and I would like it. I would
I,
probably gloat in front of like Sailor would be on the ground crying, arms in the sky like why have you forsaken me? And
oh,
I'm like
oh,
next to him
I'd be
just
sad. I'd be
giggling and
sad. Like, yeah, I
laughing.
get it. I get it. Card's absolutely ridiculous, and it's only getting worse. So, I totally understand if they hit him with it. Understandable. Carry on. As we're gonna see what we do. We got a full sneak peek of the entire hand contents, and now let's see what Zach Alexis do. You are holding on to one drop. You got the broom. I fully expect that broom to find his way onto the field, but what is going to get into the inkwell is the question of the day. Maybe the crab, maybe the peat. Stay tuned to find out. Previously on what's going into the inkwell.
Same bat channel, same bat time.
Previously on what's going into the inkwell. Something like that. I'm working on it. It's my radio voice. We'll get it. We'll get it together. We'll think about it. As it looks like it's a tough spot, man. This is a tough spot. This is a tough spot. Just throw the peat in there and make it easy for yourself. Just kick Pete into the inkwell and be done with it.
But Pete is so good against
Yeah, he
Ursulas.
is.
Like
He is so
if
good. Don't kick
Zan
Pete
plays an Ursula on 3, he doesn't have an answer. His answer is playing Pete and the next turn singing Strength with it.
for
Like
sure.
he needs to go Broom, Calhoun, Pete. And that's what he's thinking. So in my mind, his options are Crab or Fox. And I think it might be Crab. But he's leaning towards Fox. And like most likely I would end up inking Crab and then Fox, depending on what
Mm.
we drew.
And he's gonna ink the broom.
Wow.
That I
All
didn't see
right.
coming.
I mean
That I didn't see coming. He cooked
that's
there.
actually
He's
reasonable. Plays around Diablo Shift.
he
Storm.
cooked there. Diablo Shift Storm,
He's
next level. Next level move. I would have fumbled the bag right there. So that's already one misplay on my part.
well, you
I would
wouldn't
have.
have see, this is the thing, is sometimes making the bad play you get incredibly rewarded for because Zan has no songs. So
Mm,
even if Zan had the one storm, he couldn't do it because he'd have to discard it. So like Zach could
mm.
have made the weak play and been rewarded for it heavily. Um because now he's not going to be able to sing strength on Ursula to take it out. Actually, he still gets to like he gets to go Calhoun, then Pete, then Rabbit, sing
Did
Storm. So
sing.
it's this is just probably overall the right play,
I like it. So
and
now
I'm
Zan,
just
after
more
Zan sees
embarrassed I
that
didn't see
play,
it.
he's back into the thing. I would have to take a long think after that. Say my opponent, throw the one drop into the inkwell and pass on no play. As we'll just quest here for one and say, you take it slow, I'll take it slower. And let's see if we elect to put what are we putting down here now? Is it send a mine, play a mine? It's gonna be hard to weave those mines in with these rabbits and crabs around. As you'll just throw one mine into the inkwell, and do you put another one down? Or do you
I
just kind of skip
feel
your
like
second
he
turn?
should. Like I feel like he should because if he doesn't draw a song, it's very reasonable that he could play Happy and move it. But the question is what 2 drop is Zach going to play that you want to do that?
Mm,
Like I can't think of one.
probably not. I don't think he has one in the deck because Calhoun could just absorb that, no problem,
Yeah.
and keep it pushing. just completely tank a mine. No big deal. She's got the full. She's battle clad. She's battle ready. Got the outfit on. Got the gear. She can eat a
So
mine and be fine.
the question is if you play mine and then they play, and he's not going to, because if then they play Calhoun,
You're in trouble.
Calhoun gets to double tap it or single tap it because of grab, and then your mine did literally nothing, and that's why you don't play mine there.
So he's
And I think
content
a
with just
lot of
holding his
people,
Diablo.
myself included, might have played it there and then lost with it and been like, "Oh, mine's so bad." Um, I like to, especially while testing, I like to take plays and be like, "Punish me, show me why I shouldn't be doing this play," and those are reasonable things to do in testing. Once you learn those lessons, you don't do them. Or if you're in a very like how we saw Zach tank for over a minute last game on that strength play
hmm
because he is in a situation that he's like, there's so many outs. I need to try to guess which one is the correct one to do. And it's hard to do when it's not something you're constantly coming up with. Like, oh, the longer the game gets and the less resources people have, the more unique the situation is that you have less and less outs that like you can get into. So your plays are more derisive on what you can do that's actually good and not.
And also, we have to keep in mind that he did play that Diablo on turn one, so he does have some critical information that he's kind of working with. So maybe he knew the Calhoun was there, he knew the Crab was there, and he's like, I just don't want to just lose my guy for nothing. As we'll go ahead and set up the Ursula now, who's looking still okay. You can't actually survive the strength, it looks like. So you might have the opportunity to get a song off. Maybe just bluffing hard that you got this cool song set up to sing, and you just got nothing. He's hoping to draw into it on the top deck, but man, he's really bluffing. And let's see if Zach bites, or will he just continue to rock on, because there's really nothing you can do to engage with it right now. You don't have the amount of cards to get strength going. So you just have to kind of hold out hope. And now Zan is really, really banking on a nice, cool top deck this next turn. Just set up the Ursula. Sometimes that's good enough too. Just have that thing on the board, ready to belt out whatever song you can rip. And it's very likely that you will get into a song on this next turn because you haven't really drawn one yet. You didn't send any back.
The situation's like very unfortunate for Zan. He has all the things he needs, like the best cards. We even talked about that he wants. Like he wants to have the turn one Diablo, turn two Shift. He didn't have a turn two play, which you do want to have if you can. And then like turn three Ursula, he has that. He didn't
Mhm.
have the song to do the shift. He had the Diablo, but he couldn't pull the trigger.
Shift.
And that not having the song not only punishes his Diablo play, it punishes his Ursula 3 play. What else has he drawn? Another Ursula 3. So like it's
But
a
it did kind of work
very
out though. He did kind of force the Pete there, like you said. He showed the Ursula 3, he showed the Pete, and he still didn't get to the song.
there's
Either
a
way, he
dock.
couldn't play it anyway. So he got to the
Oh, it's
dock.
another happy.
I can't. How can you tell the difference from this ankle
It's
from this
inkable.
from? Oh, okay, there it
I
is.
just look for the little ink in the upper pip. The art looks almost identical. I have to look at if it's inkable or not. So if it was a foil happy, it's really hard to tell because the foils kind of is a lot darker.
As now we'll just set up a second Ursula. So now, if you can get runner, but one of them is not going to make it, I
You just need to
believe
draw a storm.
he's probably going to ink or put out another character, go for a Strength of Raging Fire, take out one of these Ursulas now. But that could be a part of Zan's plan too, just trying to milk these Strength of Raging Fire so he can hopefully set up this Diablo later. I'm not sure, as we will get the rabbit to get to another white rose. So here it is. Do you strength here?
Yeah, I
For
think
sure.
so.
Just to
Like,
take
so the
down.
worst case scenario for Zach is Zan top decks Storm into
Mhm.
another song. Like, what if he hits Storm into sudden chill, and all of a sudden, like, Zan
You're
has a bunch of
cooked.
cards, characters, and then Zach doesn't?
We will take out one of those Ursulas, and now let's see if your bluff works out. And the bluff does not work out. You did not get to a song again. That is super duper unfortunate. As you're continuing just to ink, I think you have enough ink to play this Lucifer now, which could
Yep.
be cool. And you will
Ooh.
lose that strength. Interesting.
He's
But
like, you don't have a song. There's no way you have a song. If you had a song, you would probably play it. And at this point, he's probably like, I bet he has a Diablo in his hand, right? Like,
for sure, for sure. But and Lucifer's still doing some cash money numbers. You got that Pete, which isn't looking the strongest in his matchup. You only have those 5 actions that you
and
can kind of
Elsa's
to go around with. Well, ink another white rose, and we got another Elsa coming in. So this is looking
by
great for
Ursula.
Zach, as he's going to be able to
Nom nom
tap down
nom
the
nom.
Ursula, knock it out with the Calhoun, gain 2 in the process. Crazy card. Love to see it. And then we'll be able to do another little small quest with the rabbit and the Pete. And this is looking almost out of reach so far. It's so unfortunate. He had double Ursula, no songs being sang.
So, the part of the game that is heavily advantaged towards Zan's deck is the early game. But
Mm-hmm.
as we had already said, he just needed the songs to be able to do anything here. And he just wasn't able to hit those songs.
Okay, but now you have the Hidden Cove. Is that enough? No, it's not. These locations aren't going to do much in the face of this Calhoun and Pete and Rabbit. They're just going to get knocked off really, really quick. Unless you can move to the Cove and start taking down some of these questing characters, but I just don't think it's going to be value, as we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring down the Cove anyway, move both of these guys into it, and maybe you can start taking down some guys. Excuse me. You have to take some people down. You probably take down the Calhoun and the Pete, I would assume. No, Rabbit and Calhoun. Probably trying not to get bounced too much, and then we'll take down the Calhoun as well. Man, and it's kind of put you back in a more of a stable position. So you will be able to kind of bang on that for a little while, as you'll send Pete down to the Inkwell and then play out the Diablo. So Diablo is probably not going to be good enough with this Elsa just staring him down. But you are in the Cove now. If you can keep that Cove around for a little bit of time, and you get to another Strength of Radiant Fire, this has got to be crazy. Oh my goodness. Oh, Zan does not want to see it. He doesn't want to see it. He does not want to see it. How are you getting all your songs and Zan's getting none? I'm sure Zan's going to say when he sings this thing again. Strength has been all on his case this whole little and throughout this entire match, it appears, as it looks like we're setting up to sing, perhaps. Or are you just trying to come after this Cove, as Zan looks like he's top decking again? So this game might be out of sorts, as we'll sing it, pop the
Yep.
Diablo.
Take out the Lucifer. Maybe.
Or or go into the Cove, perhaps. No, we're going after Lucifer. And just like that, Zan is sitting on one little hidden cove, and Zach's board is just quite massive
Oh,
as you get to the Bruno, which is just not doing anything.
I've said it multiple times before in the past. I'm not a fan of Bruno. It is a necessary evil.
Mm,
Um, I played it very early in Emerald Steel and lost my win in it against Kapu because I flooded on them when they had cards in hand. And it just didn't do enough. It was like a tempo bounce card, and that's just like not what you want. And it makes
yeah,
sense when you can discard it to Diablo. It's inkable. It's reasonable. But the faster we can go to a green steel list that plays 0 of that card, the happier I am. I understand it draws cards off of John. It's just overall very powerful. It answers Tamatoa, which like very few cards can do.
yeah,
So it's a necessary evil, but at the same time, like a moment like right here, it was not very good. Like,
yeah.
draw a card, discard a random card, be able to
And
play your rabbit, draw another card. Like,
and you couldn't even get the a singer to sing it too. That's like we're gonna quick pause in the action. Looks like we're getting a quick pause in the action, just seeing, make sure everything is on the up and up. Shout out to the judge, shout out to the staff. We got Leo wearing the cape and cowl today, the gown and cowl, the gown and hammer, gown and gavel. What am I talking about? Cape and gown and gavel. Judge staff gavels. Ellie's the judge. Gown and gavel. There it is for the
it's
head judge
probably
out there.
With how absurd some of us Lorcana players are, it's probably good that we don't give the table judges weapons. They might get frustrated at us for missing triggers and start like slapping our hands like teachers from like the 1700s and whatnot.
And just get a little violent out there. I'm sure sometimes they would appreciate that. I think a little
Smack
violence,
trigger.
a
Smack
a,
hits your trigger.
a little violence now and then. I think. Hey, hey, judge. Somebody make a judge call. Um, and they ask a really silly question, and they just get smacked. I think that should be. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't. That's a joke. That is a joke. Okay, please don't encourage violence. Violence is not the way. Violence is not the way. All right.
not for not for this anyways.
Not for this. But yeah, this is looking Grim Reaper for Zan there. As
This is
he's got no
looking about
cards.
over.
He's got no cards in his possession, while his opponent has so many, and the board is quite robust as there are several characters on there. You got a Pete,
His
Elsa,
first
Broom.
song
Rab-
of actually second song of the game. I was gonna say first song of the game. First reasonable song of the game.
As you will get some, and it gets to a second
Oh
cove. Oh,
no.
and we'll just ink the cove. And cove, yeah,
Oh.
it doesn't even gain, it doesn't even gain lore either, which is just extra miserable sometimes. When the card is popping off, it's probably one of the best locations that have been printed so far. But when it's not, it's just sitting there. Might as well be hidden for real. Hide it back in my deck box. As we get the goat down and
You
the
need
broom,
characters for it.
gotta have guys. You got no guys. As you get into the Ursula, uh, Zan's gonna play it out. I mean, he is a champion, so he's not gonna just give up and just pack it in, unless he's giving up and packing it in right now. No, he's gonna go and move
He's
the
not gonna give
cove.
it a packet in unless that's what he's doing. Then I guess he
Unless
is.
that's literally what he's doing right now. But he's not. He's gonna play it out, man. I respect that. As we're gonna go ahead and go through for another six, bring out this bounce goat,
And
and
that's
that
win.
should gonna be the end of the match. As Zach Bivens is going to be your LCCC winner and
Bow, 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 bow,
representing North
bow.
America. I got some air horns in here. I'll blast an air horn for Zach. Congratulations to Zach Bivens, taking nothing away from Zan, who is an incredible player. He made it to the
There we go.
making it all the way to the finish line, but didn't quite cross that threshold. I still think it was an incredible performance from both of these players, and maybe we can get them to come by the booth, kind of talk about this match. I mean, there's really not a lot to talk about from this match. I'm sure all of us, all of us.
I think I had the Discord noises muted, so they didn't hear you do it.
Oh,
So I
did
had
you?
to give
Oh,
a little bit of a delayed one
oh,
for you to get that
go
one.
shot.
They're
There it
gonna
is.
like
There it
come
is.
in and be like, "What are you guys
All
doing?"
right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm a big soundboard believer, but we'll see if we can get
Get
those
those
players
players
come
come by.
by. And I have unmuted myself in Discord. Maybe
Swapped
they'll
over for
show
you.
up. There we go. There we go. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. Maybe I think the stream should be able to hear. Again, thank you guys for watching the stream. Wonderland, thank you for hosting the stream. I mean, that is it's a feat. It's a lot going on with these streams and all the things that can and often do go wrong with the streams behind the scenes. Everyone else who was broadcasting this tournament as well. Thank you guys. It's been a wonderful experience, wonderful treat. I hope they do more things like this. I want to participate in more of these as a behind the scenes, as a viewer, as a spectator. So maybe we can get Wonderland out there playing. How did you not get voted in?
Well, I'm just not popular enough.
Oh, that's not true.
I did not. I won my DLC after the voting was done.
Okay.
So if there was an easy way to get voted in, I had missed it.
Gotcha. Well, you're the one that voted the people. I think you're the people's champ. You're my champ. Okay.
Well, thank you. But then I wouldn't have been able to cast. So
Okay.
I had a lot of fun doing this. It's good. And plus it doesn't matter. Like I couldn't lose, right? If you're casting, you're winning no matter what. So
For
I
sure.
don't have I didn't accidentally blemish myself or something, make some big play mistake and get made fun of for it. Although I expressed my plays and they were kind of not fantastic sometimes. So it's
It's not easy, and it looks like we have the players that are joining us now here in the booth. We have Zach Bivens, our winner of the LCCC. I'm gonna say LCCC number one because hopefully there are going to be more of these in the future. And we have Zan Syed in the building as well. So first, gentlemen, I just want to say thank you guys so much for your participation throughout this entire event, taking your time out of your busy schedules. I'm sure you're both very busy at this time of year to come out and provide us with some content and showcasing your questing abilities. It's been a great pleasure for me and the rest of the community seeing this thing take place. And huge congratulations to you, Zach Bivens, for coming out and getting to the dub, man. So just talk about that, man. Talk about how does it feel. Does this matter to you? Where does this weigh at in terms of your victories you've had in the past and other things you've done in this game?
So I mean, obviously, it feels great.
Hmm.
Stacked field. So the fact that I was able to win when we had 16 of the very best players in the world, amazing feeling. So feels great. I mean, it's not up there with a DLC or anything,
For sure.
but the competition here was insane. So it feels fantastic.
But there was some speculation. I know this was an exhibition, but I know you guys are all incredibly competitive, driven individuals to get to this point that you're at. Did and there were some people speculating, hey, these guys aren't taking it that serious. Is that true? Can you confirm that you were taking it serious and actually trying to come out and represent well and be victorious?
The amount of hours that I spent testing all my matchups every round is ridiculous. So I took it insanely serious. And building this deck, like I spent a lot of time thinking about what I could build to beat these three players because I had a pretty good idea of what they would play. So I feel like I definitely crafted the best deck for that. I don't think that this is something I would play at like North American Continentals or anything.
Okay.
He says, he's like, no, I swear I'm not gonna play this in a couple
I would
of
not play the
weeks.
deck I'm playing there for this.
I mean,
But
but still, man, I thought it was an incredible deck, incredible performance, but still taking nothing away from you, Zan. To you as well. Again, second place. I'm sure you wanted to win this thing too. You want to talk about were you taking it serious? Was this something that you really wanted? Is this something that you wanted to come out and represent yourself well, or it was just something you just wanted to do to kind of use it as a testing ground to kind of fill some time?
Well, I definitely took top four seriously. The
Hmm.
Swiss rounds, I didn't put my best foot forward, but I didn't know I was qualified for Worlds yet. So I
Okay.
was trying to, keep some information. So I'll be honest, that's what I was trying to do in the Swiss rounds. But once I found out I was qualified for Worlds, I felt like I wanted to put on a show. So I tried extremely hard, and I mean, I made it. I'm happy with my result, and congrats to Zach for taking it down.
Absolutely, man. And you guys represented the United States well, as well, coming out and going 1-2. We do appreciate that after that Swiss run. But I got one more question. I'm just jumping into the interview. I'm so sorry. I'm taking all your this is your
No,
show.
go for it. You're doing amazing. So
I'm so
keep it up.
I'm so sorry. But
It's
I
like I
do
don't have to
while I have
try.
you while I have you gentlemen here, man. Another question I want to ask you guys, and this is something I've been thinking about, and I'm sure other players in the community have been thinking about. And we kind of talked about it briefly in this broadcast as well. You guys didn't have to do this, okay? You guys kind of allocated your time to do this because you are recognizable figures. And I know when you first joined to play this game, it's not something that you intended, like, hey, I want to be a celebrity, I want to be famous, or I want to do anything like that. But now you kind of have this added responsibility thrust upon you. Is that something that you don't want, or is that something you find yourself have to rise to? Do you feel that puts you at a disadvantage, or do you feel that it is something that, hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown, I just got to deal with it? We'll start with you, Zach, first, as you just won this thing. We'll see, because you guys, whether you like it or not, in this small community, you guys are now becoming like celebrities. People are going to look up to you when your name comes on someone's challenge. They're going to see that, and they're going to know who you are. They're going to know what you're about, and you got to constantly rise to that occasion every time, over and over and over again. Can you just talk about that really quickly and how that feels? And one, you could jump in too because this affects you as well.
I'm not
yes,
nearly as popular as Sir Bivens is.
hey,
Like,
you won the DLC. I have not won a DLC. Both of you guys have won a DLC, and I have not. So
Right.
it just shows how popular you are.
I mean, it's only a
uh,
matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hopefully,
for sure.
hopefully. So I appreciate everything. Do I like it? I mean, I don't hate it or anything. I'm generally a private person, so like, it's not like I wouldn't choose to be super like famous within the community or whatever. But I see it as an honor and a responsibility. Like, I try to use
Hmm.
it to spread kindness and build the game up, grow the game any way I can, give encouragement to all the players I can. So yeah, I see it as a good thing and something that I can use to better the game.
Mm. And I'll ask you the same thing, Zan. Like, is that something like, because you can have a bad day. You come out, and you have a bad day, or things just don't go well, and you might not be as kind as you want to be. And now someone has that experience with you, and like, oh, I met Zan. He was a complete asshole because of this, that, and that. Is that something that you're thinking about now, or is that like just talk about that as well? Like how does it just that mindset of being like, okay, I'm not only playing for myself, but I'm also playing as a representative of the game.
Yeah, I mean, in Paris, I sat at the wrong table, and
Hmm.
I thought I had won my round, and then they like came around and they were like, "You're sitting at the wrong table," and I was like, "Oh my God!" So I went like to the judges station to figure out what I can do, and they were like, "Yeah, there's nothing you can do," and I'm like, "I just flew to Paris to try to qualify. I'm like undefeated," and I just like fell on my knees and I was like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" And as I was walking out, someone was like, "Hey, can you please sign my playmat?" And I just like explained them the situation and then signed their playmat and took a picture with them and then left. But like I felt like that was like the lowest moment I've had in Lorcana so far.
Hmm.
And if if I'm like able to handle that moment, I think that I'm gonna be just fine for future moments as well.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but yeah, I do think that like I do think it's really important to be kind, and like a lot of times these like players that you meet at these tournaments, it might be their only chance to meet you and pick your brain, and I think it's a responsibility of ours to do that so we can continue to grow the game, right? Like I think that I've been in games in the past where there's kind of like a cool players club and people aren't allowed to like go hang out with these players, and
Hmm.
I think not now that I'm in this sort of position, I want to change that culture. I definitely don't want that to exist in Lorcana. I want to be more accessible, and I think like with the rise of podcasts and uh the rise of just YouTube content, you can share your thoughts and stuff, and I think just like having that transparency and accessibility is important for the future of Lorcana, and I'm going to do whatever I can to contribute to that.
Absolutely, man. See, we always pick the best champions, dude. That's some great words, man. And like I said, I hope you guys. It's a nice, smooth transition, smooth run, and people. And this goes out to all the viewers out there. If you are fans of these individuals, just understand that they are humans, man, and give them some space sometimes, and don't try to overwork it too much because they're going to be kind. They're going to try to help you, but at least help themselves. Because at the same time, you guys are still on the grind. You're trying to get somewhere else too, and that competitive energy is going to continue to need to be sharpened and maintained. So I do appreciate that, man. And this event was great. And one last overview. I've been yapping too much. Let me get out of here and let you.
Keep going.
No,
It's great when I don't have to work. I mean, you're so good at this job. Like,
oh, stop, dude. Stop.
no.
But gentlemen, um, testing. Are we all set on what we're going to do for the national tournament? Is there any insights you want to give? Any free G2 you want to give for your national insights or national preparation before we wrap this thing up and let you guys get on? We'll start with you again, Zach, our LCCC one winner. I'm gonna keep pushing this one thing, by the way.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I'm lost in the sauce right now. I'm building so many different decks. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Oh, come on, man. I like that. I like that. Very modest, very candid, very modest. Candid. What about you, Zan? Anything that you want to give? Is there anything that we saw this deck that you loaded into this tournament? Okay, it
Mhm.
was cool. Okay, it granted you gotta have some songs. Okay, Ursula can't just sit there and not be singing. Okay, that's just
Yeah,
how it
yeah,
goes. You gotta
yeah,
get a song at some point. But talk
yeah. I
about
couldn't even ship that Diablo.
yeah.
Like I just
And,
had it since turn one. I was like,
oh,
all right, I can draw an action one day.
at some point, I mean, it's a cool card, but if it's not singing, it's not doing too much. But still, I
100%.
love the strategy. I love what you're trying to do. Can you talk about that? Is that something that do
Yeah,
you think could be the future of Green Steel, where it can potentially go with the mines and the dwarfs and the
yeah.
lower to the ground?
I mean, I think that Lorcana is a completely reactive game, right? So you're
Hmm.
reacting to the meta constantly. And so you really, I mean, you could honestly be reacting to it even the day before. You show up and, like a bunch of big players are playing in a lobby, and word gets around like, yellow green is like the sauce, you know?
Hmm.
And so even like the couple of hours before decklist submission, um, things can change and you have to just be ready to react. And so I take like as many cards as I can possibly take, so I can have
Mhm.
as many options as possible. Um, so yeah, just I think if you have the capacity to have more choices, just be ready to switch. The thing that you can do in the meantime is just like make your utility belt like bigger, right? Like the
Mm.
more decks you can play, the more like flexible you can be in the moment you realize like, oh, this deck is going to be a great choice because it seems as though there's like a big testing group that is playing this specific strategy, right? So just, be reactive and be flexible.
That's coming from your DLC champion, man. Be reactive, be flexible. Write that down. Y'all free G2, man. We're taking notes out
Oh
here.
yeah.
But
So
I think
it like leans into what he was saying earlier about how you should be kind to people. Getting like, and you're like, how does that lean into it? So if you're to just play with your friends, like ask them what they want to play against. Be like,
mhm.
what decks do you need to play against? I will play it. It's going to make you better. You're going to play all these different decks. You're going to learn so many different things. How many times do you play against a deck and you lose and you're like, what beats that? That's so stupid. And you go on some tangent, you get angry and everything. But if you had played all these different decks, you'd be like, oh yeah, well, I know they lose to this, so this shows this part of the meta. I know I could play this if I wanted to, or I could like shift to this, or like I don't need to worry about this deck because I know the rest of the meta crushes it. So it's just like this weird scenario that I got unlucky. Like in Vegas in round two, I played against Ruby Steel and got crushed, right? It's just like removal dot removal deck. And it just like beat me down. And then they didn't do too well for the rest of the event, and I got 71st tie breaks. Does not matter. You could play against anything in a DLC or a big event, right? Like anything could happen there, but like you shouldn't get all caught up on it and do your friends. I kind of tangented a little there. I went off on a thing. I've just been letting you talk so much. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I
sorry.
like talking. I just need to keep
Oh,
going, I guess.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll cut it. I'll cut it. I'll cut it. I'll cut it. No, no, no. But I get your point. And to Zan's point, and also to Zach's point, it's like this meta is alive and breathing. Okay, I'm in Discord way too much. I'm going through all these deck channels, and the only thing I'm sure of is that everyone thinks their deck is bad. Like there's no coalition of players. There's no tribe of deck out here that's like, oh, we got the best deck, we got the goo. No, everyone's like, oh, my deck sucks, my deck sucks. I don't know what to do. So I think that makes it for a very good game.
Have you
And
met a blue red player?
I
a
was
blue
just
red.
gonna make that joke.
Oh,
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Yep.
I mean, they got some weaknesses too. I'm sure. But gentlemen, man, I think this event was great, man. I really appreciate the show that you guys put on. Both of your performances are very stellar, and hopefully, if we do this again, Zan, you're the captain. Come out and run it back, man, and maybe we can get another one going. Maybe have it be a little bit shorter or something, and fix some of the things we got wrong. And then I think it'll be nice. I would love to see you guys come back and participate again.
For sure.
There's all sorts of cool ways that this could go again. Yeah, like
Mhm.
major props to the judging, all the players, Pavel for setting it up. Like so many things got adjusted to PBC just for this event. Just amazing.
hmm Absolutely, absolutely. And Bivens, congratulations again on your LCC C1 victory. Have you seen that mat? I don't know if we can show the mats. Have you shown the mat? Can we see the mats? If you want to show that to the people, I mean, maybe we can showcase what those look like if you can plug that into the stream. But the
Are
mat looks
we
great.
are we allowed to?
I'm not sure. You know what? Just don't do it. I don't want Pavel to come out here and elbow drop
Pavel,
me.
I'm pretty sure he's shared it on Twitter.
Oh,
He did
did he?
tweet it already?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
If you
I'm
show,
positive he did.
All right. Tag,
okay.
is it in the?
It's
It's in the announcements, I think.
Okay.
yeah, it's in the announcements of the LCC,
Ooh.
so
Yeah,
you can
it
show the
looks
people.
amazing.
It
The
looks
foil
really
on
cool.
it's so good.
And you probably have that as a keepsake for a while, and maybe
Absolutely.
until the next one comes, and you have to defend it. You got to defend
That's
it, man.
right.
You got to defend the title. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
Showing it really quickly.
I just want to say I'm just happy that NA won. I was when I went to Paris, we were down so much that I was like, I was it was it just felt kind of like like I was there, and everybody's like, y'all are NA sucks,
Y'all are sleeping. Y'all sleepwalking.
and
I
I'm
mean,
like,
to
In
be
my mind,
fair, I feel like NA lost the event, but
because of the
you
Swiss.
two won the event. Like you
Hey,
two won the singles. NA won the singles portion of the event and lost the team portion of the event. Is that seem
I
fair?
don't I
I don't.
don't know
Hey,
what do
hey,
you mean playoffs? I mean, like let's talk about like in terms of basketball. Does anybody go like the regular winning the regular season doesn't mean
Okay.
you win the
I
championship?
agree.
I
I
mean, you
agree. I
could
got
be
a
right.
They
good
can't
shot.
even
Okay.
say that it was because we got a second NA in that wasn't in the top four or whatever. Because
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not.
so yeah, we
Hey,
just won it. They beat us in the first round, and then we tied every single other round, and then we swept the top four. So
and okay, I'm in a bias. All right. I'm in a bias. If you count the sub battle, okay, that was a clean sweep. Okay, that was clean through and through. There was no. Hey, we're counting the subs too. Throw them in there, and it was a clean sweep through there. So
so really, EU won the first round, and then that was it.
Yeah.
See,
there you go.
I like the tie. I like to make it like, why don't we have a tiebreaker? Let's do LCC or LLCC or whatever it's called. The Lorcana Cross. I say as it's in my face
I
right
mean,
now.
the
Lorcana
tiebreaker
Cross
can just be
Continental
worlds,
Championship.
right?
There you
Yeah,
go.
there we
There you
go.
go. There you
I
go.
like it. Perfect. Perfection.
And it's all just a little bit of fun too, man. It's I mean it's a I like the a little bit of grittiness to it, but it's still just a lot of fun too. At the end of the day, like I'm sure you guys are good friends with some of the EU players, and you guys got deep respect for each other. But just having that little added piece to it, I think added a lot of flair to it.
No, I love the EU guys. I'm just
Yeah,
joking around.
yeah, that's for sure, for sure, for sure. It's just a little bit of a little bit of banter. Okay, we'll see. It'll be Worlds. Who's gonna win? Maybe it'll be someone from EU. Maybe someone from NA. We'll have part two there. There's got a
But
prequel.
if,
Maybe it'll be some of the matches we saw in this
well,
tournament.
I'm pretty sure there is a Lorcana villain versus Dick Burns match coming up in like a week or so or something like that. So
Ooh.
we can still get some NA versus EU style of gameplay going on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. But you guys, any more shout outs you want to give or anything you want to say? Like this is the time. Anything you want to give another round? We'll start with you this time, Zan. We'll start with you. Any more words of wisdom you want to bestow upon the community before we wrap this thing up and shut it on down?
I mean, thanks again to Pavel. I mean,
Hmm.
a meme into a tournament into a fantastic event. Had a great time, and I look forward to doing it again.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What about you, Zach? Anything else?
Yeah. So thanks, Pavel, for sure. He's done so much for the game. Like it cannot be understated how much he's done for the game. He is amazing. Thank you to the judges. You guys have done a lot behind the scenes. People don't really see what you guys have been doing, but you've done awesome. You've helped me for sure.
So
So I
much.
appreciate you guys. Thanks to the casters, JDZ. You're amazing.
Oh no,
First
no,
time
no.
hearing you cast, but it was awesome. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
just all the players involved, everybody. Thanks for everyone's support.
Hell yeah. And thank you guys for being wonderful things to spectate and being skilled and talented and sharing those skills and talents with the world, man. Because this game is hard. And there's levels to this. You guys have exceeded the levels required to be at the point that you're at right now. We do appreciate you sharing that with us because you didn't have to do it. But and representing your nation well in the process. We do appreciate that too. But I love it. If that's it, man, I think we got there, Wonderland. I think this match was, I think was,
Let's go.
we got to hit him with
you got to end with the air horn, right?
and the gunshot too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright. Bye, guys.
Oh man. But seriously, man, I can't, I got to echo everything that they said, man. Pavel and yourself and the judges and the staff and everyone who had a hand in making this thing great. I truly appreciate it. Allowing me to come into the booth and do some broadcasting. Everyone who reached out to me and said, "Hey, you could do this, man. You should pursue it." I do appreciate that and giving me an opportunity to come in here and hang out with you. Wonderland has been great, and you running the broadcast has also been phenomenal. And everyone else, Myers
been a
out
pleasure.
there, and Garrick, and everyone else, Red Rose, everyone else who did the broadcast stuff too, and all the different languages all over the world. It's been a real pleasure, and hopefully there's another LCCC. But until then, I think we have to wrap it up. Wonderland, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I think we're probably gonna be done here. I think in about 10 minutes the stream
Oh,
is gonna end. We might raid someone.
okay.
Unless you want, you haven't done shout outs yet. Have you? You
Me?
kind of did. Your whole stream has been a shout out. You're just so amazing.
Oh, oh, shout out to me. Oh no, but seriously though, I do stream on Twitch and I'm starting a YouTube here very soon. The YouTube has already started, but it's not a lot of content on there yet. But JDZ Quest, man, check me out. I'll be on Twitch. I might fire one up tonight. Maybe not tonight, but definitely tomorrow I'll come in and play some games on Twitch. So come out there. I just play not the best. You won't see the high level gamesmanship that you're used to seeing here, but you'll see me out there getting through this thing, and it's a lot of fun most of the time. So come on through and check it out. JDC
Most of the
Quest on
time.
Twitch.
When we don't have technical difficulties, like it's fantastic.
For sure.
And you're going to be able to see more JDZ and me working together in the ICL
Oh
coming
yeah,
on later too.
ICO. When is the
That'll be
next match?
well, the exhibitions are all done. We're starting up the official season about a week or two after North American Champions. There'll
Okay,
be more info about that on Twitter and whatnot. All right, everyone. You have a great day, and we'll chat with you later.
absolutely. Peace.
All right. So.